Well guys, here is a brand new EU4 After Action report that I just finished after a few weeks of playing, and oh my god, the last 100 years or so it's been so laggy. I'm so glad this is finally over, as this is a country I played before, never got to finish, as this is a jam into Persia, and then apparently into Timurids, even though the name hadn't changed, as this game is my most successful game yet to date, and boy was it fun. Unlike my previous high score, England into Angevin realm. So anyways, a jam starts off as a province, like out here, like modern day Iran, which is split up in different countries and all that. Had to deal with the Timurids, who completely imploded within first few years of the game during war. Literally imploded. I had like territory right here controlling all of them, and all of a sudden they died, and I had to regain them all that and go to the war with a country that broke away from it and all that. It was kind of annoying. And I decided a strategy for this game to try and lower unrest or like rebels is to take small gains at a time and stuff like that. So I went slow and all that. I eventually had a coastline, and eventually I kind of had the border set to like modern Iran and stuff like that. So afterwards, I just kept slowly expanding. I took over more of Afghanistan, moved into the Caucasus. No, it's not the Caucasus. Central Asia, and then moved into like the Caucasus a bit and all that. Took over parts of like modern day Iraq down here and the Mesopotamia area, and I started colonizing. I colonized these islands right here, and then I started colonizing this part of southern Africa, and eventually Portugal and Spain had South Africa. Well, I attacked them, and of course thanks to the CB I made for this mod for myself, they really couldn't do anything as my war score just kept ticking up and up and up and up. It was so funny. I eventually took over all of South Africa. I eventually attacked Kiowa a lot and took over a whole bunch up here. I wanted to take over more, but I ended up focusing on other things, and Ajaron ended up taking over more of them, which kind of sucked, but I prioritized other things. I was able to colonize some stuff out here. I just have these islands right here. I have parts of Borneo, Java, parts of, I think, no, that's not Sumatra, and stuff like that. I took over parts of the Philippines. I wanted to take over more, but once again, I did not prioritize them. I prioritized other things. And then I was able to colonize out here in Kamchatka. So the idea was I colonized all the way up to like about like here and such, and I kept expanding, and I was stuck with like either Ming or Ming client states, trying to connect my two areas together, and eventually several tough fought wars I managed to connect them all, and then Muscovy, who was almost dead, I protected them, and I pretty much had them as my puppet state somewhat, and built them up. As we took over Bukhara, took over the Great Horde, we eventually went to war with the Ottomans and kicked the crap out of them. I kept Hassan alive, and we took over Egypt, the rest of the Mamluks, and took over parts of Ajar right there. So I have like two puppets somewhat to my north and south, which is great. And I went to work with my ally in Bengal, and I took over parts of the Indian subcontinent. I pushed deep into Ming, kicked the shit out of them. I allied Fujiwara, this game's equivalent to Japan, and we kicked crap over here as well too. And I just finished this war, which I had to cheat in order to finish in time to get some stuff right here. So yeah, that was wild, as this is the world map, as I also had a big war earlier against Zabodoslavia just to give Muscovy a whole bunch of territory, because I took nothing from that war. And yeah, this is a wild war. Game. So anyways, this is the highest scoring game ever. 25,084 points. Easily destroying my previous record from a few months ago, England into the Angevin realm, which I did not have fun in that game whatsoever. This time, however, I did, as we made so many troops that I haven't even hit my maximum yet. I did hit the maximum, but with all the territory I just got, I didn't hit my maximum anymore. And this is the most troops I've ever had. Almost 3.7 million troops. 400 ships, with almost all of them being light ships to do trade protection, all that. I have like no navy whatsoever. Man, my morale, discipline, all that stuff is very high. Gee, it would be nice if I could have this all the time, game. It would be nice if I could have this all the time, where I could have this high army tradition, morale, discipline, all that. Maybe I would be able to fight regularly with no problem. But, yep, managed to get that. incredible money. I make so much money that I was making almost 3,000 ducats a month, even while fully funding my army, my navy, and have my forts all activated. I'm still making so much money. I made so much money that I had like £1 million ducats, and apparently that's the limit. So that's once you hit 1 million ducats, you can't make any more money. And I just kept sitting on it because I couldn't do anything with it. They really need to add more stuff late game that you can use to make more money. Use money on, because at this point in the game, I just can't use it. I can't just spend any more money. Like I can't build any more stuff. I can't fund anything else. I can't get rid of it. Like I can't give it out to like countries and all that. I try, but it's just not enough. Like they need to add more stuff to just get rid of all this money. It's insane. And like I said, like if I do my GDP calculations I did for this game, this would be a GDP of over $17 million. Man, that would be really high to begin a Vicky Free, for example. And yeah. Oh yeah. So later on in the game too, I forgot to mention, I played Ajam. I eventually took over all the stuff to form Persia. And then, because Timurids somehow, if it zoomed in, after Timurids died, there was like one province, I think it was right here, that somehow lived for like 100 years because no one could reach it before I finally took care of them. I was given the option, an event where I can change the name to Eranshar, which I did. Ooh, I like that name, Theocratic Empire of Eranshar. And Eranshar, for all of you who don't know, is like an ancient name for Iran and all that. And then there was this pop-up about Timurids, and I figured the way it sounded like it would just be like, I don't know exactly what it was, but I did it, and it changed my colors around. I became, and the flag too, I basically became the Timurids without the name change. So I basically played a jam into Persia, changed my name to Eranshar, and then turned back into the Timurids. Which is odd. I don't know why it didn't change the name. If I knew it was going to turn me into the Timurids, basically, I probably wouldn't have done it because I wanted to stay as Persia. But, this is how it is. So that's my, a jam into Persia, into Eranshar, and apparently into the Timurids. As I hope you enjoyed, this is the best game ever for me in terms of score on, and it was a lot of fun, unlike the Angevin Realm. And of course, might try out all this stuff, my ideas set up in the future as well. Getting defensive, quantity, and offensive really did help a lot. Hopefully that'll continue in all my other games. I still need to get back to all my games from 2020 and get them finished once and for all. And do some more stuff. Maybe in the future do another YouTube series, which I've been thinking about doing soon. Alright guys, hope you all enjoyed, and now to take a look at how the map changed over the centuries. And a little minor interruption. I don't know why it says I became Timurids. I did not. I became Persia. I mean, yeah, Persia at this point. Very weird. So I don't know why it says that, but I did not become the Timurids.